We are QOTD, and you're watching the QOTD Daily Recap Show. QOTD is the Question of the Day show, the game show that lets you be on the air, and you can join us on the air by recording your video answer to our awesome daily questions.
Yes, and you can also join us by voting for your favorite answers to determine who makes it to the weekly Big Show Championship. That happens on Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to show you today how you can make it on the air with us for that Thursday Big Show. And we're also going to take a look at some of our favorite answers, including one of our favorite answers to today's question, which has to do with abbreviations like AGT, RPDR, and actually QOTD, fittingly enough.
Yes. By the way, if you're looking at QOTD as a competition show, and I suppose that's what we are, one of the hints to winning is to get the question before everybody else so you can record and be on the air first and get the most votes. Trick to doing that is to click the subscribe button, which is right there if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're on the site, just click the register button. It's under the panel on the left. But once you subscribe, then you will get the answers first. And that, as we remember from middle school, is a good way to get an A on the test.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, before we get to what exactly today's question is, we've been dropping a lot of really good hints, I'll say. We should do another abbreviation, which is our FAL, or Fan Answer Leaderboard for this week, starting with Friday's question, which is, if you could be reincarnated as any animal, what animal would that be? We were talking earlier about this animal from Australia called the quokka, Quokka, and it's just such an adorable animal that I would love to be a quokka.
And you're not making this up. You're not making fun of me and mom, because, no, it's a real animal.
No. I'm not actually. It has 17 legs and 4 eyes, and it lives in space.
Well, with that, on Saturday, if you could travel back in time, just imagine that for 1 second. If you were traveling back in time to, say, the Middle Ages, what is some modern invention that you would bring back with you and that would totally blow people away? Maybe you want to bring soap. Right? Maybe soap would go a really long way, or maybe you want to bring one of those fancy, water purifiers. I don't know, but something that you could bring back would totally amaze people. I'm going to bring back observational humor. That's what I'm thinking.
Perfect. You're going to be Seinfeld before Seinfeld was even a twinkle in his ancestors' eyes.
Newman.
We also have the top 3 answers for Sunday's question, which is, has an animal ever saved your life? Tell us about it. We've actually gotten quite a few really cool stories. Panzer, Beatrice, and Hawkeye all have some really good answers. Be sure to go and watch these other answers on beyondtheair.com because there are some really good ones in there.
And you would think it would never happen, right? You would think, why would an animal ever save a person? Right? Because we're they've got their kingdom and we've got our kingdom, and you don't go into somebody else's kingdom. But in fact, based on these stories, it happens all the time. There are all these amazing stories. And I'm not going to give all the details now because I'm going to record and put it on the air. But my life was actually saved by a cat, of all things. Right? I know. I have all these dogs. Dogs are worthless. My cat saved my life, but I'll tell that one on the air because I'm going to be on the air. What do you think? Should we talk about today's awesome question of the day so that everybody can get to clicking the orange record button?
I think we should. Let's do it.
All right. Today's drum roll question of the day is, what reality show would you totally win?
Got it.
Right now is kind of a magical time for reality shows and competition shows. This writer's strike, which is just a darn shame because, I like my Netflix, I like my HBO or whatever we're calling it now, my Max. But, I just love a good reality show. And so I think that I've been thinking about a lot. And reality shows are designed so you can kind of put yourself in the shoes of these authentic people who are kind of just like us. And that's what it's designed for. So obviously we've all thought about are you going to win The Bachelor? Are you going to go be now I'm dating myself, my big brother, how would you perform there? But I got to say that if it were me, there's no question what reality show I would want to be on and that I would totally crush. And that's Alone. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have. What is it?
So good. It's so good. And they're in like their 8th season now. So the premise of the show is that they take people who are kind of survivalists, you know, but they're not naked, but they're totally alone. They got a little bit of gear and they just plop them on Vancouver Island. Most of the time, they have a couple other places, but it's like super remote and it's super hard. But the hardest part is that they don't see anybody. There's no crew. There's nobody who's coming by and like, you know, making sure that they're mentally stable, because they're not. Because you spend 100 days alone, like fishing and recording yourself. And I love the show because people like get down to their core. You know, people really start talking about who they are and what motivates them. And I mean, I find it an incredibly compelling and revealing show. But for me, I feel like I got the skills and I'm kind of a misanthrope. I don't like people that much, right? I would just be on that island, just like vibing with the ferns and make my fire and catching fish. And I would outlast anybody because I'm stubborn and a little solitary. I'd kill it. How about you guys? How about you guys?
Well, I mean, before I get to my answer, I will quickly say, if you're already talking to yourself in public, what will change your phone?
Yeah, but talking to the trees, I'd be hugging a fern. That could be problem. Maybe I should this one.
Well, I think before I get into my answer, which is very good, I will say, I think we should take a quick detour into our fan answers because we've been getting a bunch from across the world for this question. What better time than now to go over one of our early favorites? So receiving the distinct honor of Best Reality TV Competitor, we have Tara for her answer. Let's take a watch.
So I already know I would absolutely kill it on Deal or No Deal. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's the one where you have the briefcase and you have to pick another briefcase and hope that your briefcase has $1 million in it. I've played this game before at an arcade, and every time I played, I won. Like, I won big bucks. So Deal or No Deal, if you're watching this, hit me up.
I didn't even know it was an arcade game. I've seen the show. It's like the Howie Mandel, and they pick the boxes and there are questions, and you can call a friend. So it helps to have, you know, friends who are smart when you're on the show. But yeah, that's a big show. It was like a huge prize at the time. But yeah, I didn't know it was an arcade game.
It's weird. I didn't know that I knew that it was a show, of course. I haven't seen like any episodes of the show, but I mostly know it for the arcade games because I feel like I see them in every arcade.
Go figure. So you think that you've got good training from the arcade game? How do you do?
I think, well, I haven't ever really played it. I think I'm also kind of a bad guesser, so maybe that's not the show for me.
All right. So to the point, what is your show?
So I think my show, actually, Game Time Decision, I think my show might be like The Bachelor or like The Bachelorette or something along those lines. Because my original answer was like a Big Brother, but I think it all sort of orbits around playing the social game. Mm-hmm. I think with like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, I think I could do a good job of like making good TV and like acting like I love the other person a little bit. And then for Big Brother, I think I could really be good at just like not drawing too much like not being really good TV and being an engaging watch. That would keep me on the show for a while. I also just think I'm a very likable person, so I think that would aid me in both shows.
So, and devious, and because those things go together. Likable, amiable, devious. I think that's what it takes to win these things.
Exactly.
I would watch you. I would definitely watch you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's the key, is it's like you have to have a good facade of just like, I'm nice, but then behind the scenes, you're pulling all the strings and no one even suspects a thing.
You're like, isn't Marjorie like kind of mean? I don't know if I really like her or trust her. How do you guys feel? You know, that's the way you play that. Exactly. Like, it's like middle school lunch, except, you know, in bikinis.
Bikinis with cocktails.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not today's question, as great as it is, it's not the only one you can answer, as we have alluded to. So far, we have 3 other questions you can answer, and we have another great highlight for Friday's question, which is what animal would you like to be reincarnated as? So we're saving the honor of, follow me here, mammal metempsychosis, which is a synonym for reincarnation, I learned. We have Jay Gish's answer. Let's take another watch.
Dinosaurs. Is anybody not choosing dinosaurs? Either a T-Rex or a Triceratops? Big, strong, horns. If you're a Triceratops, what's better? Except, wait, is it my brain or is it theirs?
Big, strong, and extinct. So there might be a hole in your plan there, Jiggish, but it would be pretty awesome to be T-Rex. It's the little arms, though. I'm not sure how I feel about the little arms. Well, as I said before, these sorts of questions are the kinds of things that get you on the Thursday Big Show. If you're recording your answers and they're showing up during the week, people are going to vote for you. And then if you have one of those answers that collects a lot of votes, you'll show up on the Friday Big Show. And that is going to be Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 12:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or kind of any time via the magic of On Demand, which you can watch on YouTube or Twitch or over on beyondtheair.com. But make it to that Big Show. That's our live hosted show. And we're there also with our compadres, Reed and Trish. And it's really, really fun. And you get to be the star. So record.
Yes, and to record your answer, you can go to beyondtheair.com and you can click the orange record button under the 24/7 live game stream. Maybe you can still answer today's question or any of this week's other questions for your chance to tell us what animal you want to come back as, what reality show you want to win, and for your chance to join us on the air.
Hey, JJ, did you know about the Guess and Bid game?
I didn't. Can you explain it a little bit?
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Guess and Bid game. It's another game that you can play when you're on beyondtheair.com. In addition to recording and being on the air, you can also bid stars on the videos that you think are going to win. And then as they win, you climb up the leaderboard. And if you are tops of the leaderboard, you show up in our daily recap show, just like Mary and Zach right here. It's another way of being on the air. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's recap. And a very special thank you to everyone who has watched, voted, and recorded so far. We are QOTD and beyondtheair.com signing off, and we will see you all on TV. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Do you know who we're not seeing on TV? Reed and Trish.
Oh.
I will miss them.